as we have gone through the understanding of first of all the interpolation, which is also known by upsampling, and then the decimation, which is also known by downsampling here. So with the help of interpolation and the decimation, here we are getting a change into the sampling rate concerned to a discrete time sequence. So thereupon we find with the help of the interpolation, as the number of samples into the discrete time sequence is getting increased. So at a specific interval, here we are adding specific number of the elements to the set by the process of interpolation. Whereas in the process of decimation, to the original discrete time sequence, we are selecting particular samples with a fixed interval. So because of that, there it is a reduced number of samples selected from the original data. So interpolation for increasing the number of samples and decimation for decreasing the number of samples to the original discrete time sequence we have been using. We have also practiced it into the MATLAB environment, where we are successful to make the interpolation and decimation implemented with the integer factor. Now there are lots of applications where we have the signal that is available to be provided as input to certain application which is at a certain sampling rate, whereas the application that is supposed to use that particular information signal is having the system as such, it requires other type of the sampling rate. So many a times there it is a condition that we require the sampling rate to be converted by non-integer factor, that is a rational one. That is why we have this particular topic. So let us say in general, as we have the usual notation for input type of the signal, of course a digital one, we denote it by x of n. So it is sampled, for example, at the time interval denoted by capital T1, and here we are required to obtain the output signal that we usually denote by y of n to be sampled at the time interval denoted by capital T2. So therefore the sampling rate conversion by the non-integer factor, here the non-integer factor we shall be denoting by capital F. So this may be achieved by the use of interpolation and decimation operation both at a time. So of course the question is there whether the interpolation first of all and the decimation, or decimation first of all and followed by the interpolation. So of course I will answer this particular question. Now the thing is clear here that the use of both interpolation and decimation operations, so it will involve the integer type of the interpolation factor as well as the integer type decimation factor, and if we make the use of 2 to be a ratio, we can obtain non-integer factor that can be denoted by capital F, and that is a required thing in this particular topic here. So here the capital F as required to be the non-integer factor can be expressed as the rational number. So this rational number is the ratio of the two integers. Here we denote capital F is equal to capital L by capital M. So here capital L is the integer type interpolation factor, which is also known to be the upsampling factor, whereas capital M in the denominator is the decimation factor, it is downsampling factor here. So now the certain way to have achievement of this particular type of the conversion is just applying the interpolation by the factor capital L and then the decimation with the factor capital M here. Now why we are making that? The interpolation should be first of all the operation before the decimation here. That means we are just having the interpolation to be the first one, decimation to be the second one. The reason is that we are going to have the preservance of the desired spectral characteristics of the input or the original discrete time sequence that we have denoted as x of n here. Now let us have the visualization of block schematics concerning both the interpolation and that of the decimation processes here. So first of all, we shall talk about the interpolation process. I hope you can recall back from whatever we have learned into the same chapter for the interpolation. Thereupon, the practical interpolation process is having the two blocks. So the first block is of course the interpolation factor. So by how many times we have to increase the number of samples into the original discrete time sequence which is to be interpolated for multi-rate digital signal processing. So that it is the first block here you see. So this is the integer value of the interpolation or the upsampling, that is denoted by capital L, and as I have already discussed, the upward arrow is just the representation of interpolation, whereas if there it is a downward arrow, so that time there it is the reduction into the sampling rate, and that is the identification of the decimation process. So whatever the symbol in capital letters, generally capital M or capital D, it is there. It is the integer decimation factor. So here it is the integer type interpolation upsampling factor here. So the block here it is said to be the sampling rate expander here, and to this block our original signal to be interpolated as denoted by x of n is fed as input here. Now after this interpolation, simply the mere interpolation is accomplished, we obtain the intermediate signal that can be denoted by W of n. So it is of course again into the discrete time representation. Now as there are lot of images getting appeared beside the original information when analyzed into the spectral diagram, we need to make the help from anti-imaging filter to remove all these. So the redundancy should always be reduced, and for that purpose the filter is here, and in this block we show the filter function denoted by h of k here. In the Z domain or in the Fourier domain, the same filter function can be denoted with the help of capital letters. So for the Z transformation domain it can be denoted as capital H of Z. For the Fourier domain, that is the frequency domain, we denote it as capital H of either the angular frequency denoted by omega or simply f, it is there. So the interpolation, that is the sampling rate expander along with the anti-imaging filter, gives us the complete practical use of the interpolation or the upsampling, where we obtain the output discrete time sequence denoted by y of n, that is produced from x of n here. So x of n is shown to be with the sampling rate denoted capital F suffix s, whereas there it is at the output side the sampling rate has been increased as capital L multiplied to the original F suffix s. So here it is the interpolation process only. Now let us have a look at the decimation process, because to achieve the sampling rate conversion by non-integer factor, we have to make the use of both interpolation as well as the decimation here. So here we see in the case of decimation, of course x of n is the input signal that is to be decimated here. So it is initially fed as input to a filter. So this filter is called as the digital anti-aliasing filter. So because of the low sampling rate, there it is a chance of the aliasing effect to occur. So in order to avoid the aliasing effect, there it is the use of filter, which is known to be the digital type, of course, anti-aliasing filter. And for this particular filter, the filter function, its particular behavior or the characteristic you can say, is denoted as h of k here, and in the frequency domain or in the Z domain it will be correspondingly capital H of f or capital H of omega, and next to that for the Z domain it is capital H of z here. So after filtering out the input discrete time sequence, we are obtaining the intermediate discrete time domain signal denoted by V of n, and then here we apply the actual decimation. Here we are going to select the samples from the original signal at the specific interval of capital M here. So capital M is the integer value of the decimation or the downsampling factor here. So this is the block also named to be sampling rate compressor here. So for interpolation we are having expansion into the length of the discrete time sequence, whereas in decimation process or the downsampling process we have compression to the length of discrete time sequence. So the digital anti-aliasing filter along with the sampling rate compressor as shown correspondingly by the two blocks inside the outline here. We have here the output signal denoted as y of n here. Now the change into the sampling rate you can notice here. Here the original case it was fs, the sampling rate, whereas after decimation process it has been reduced to, the reduction is by the factor denoted by capital M. It can also be denoted at certain textbooks by capital D here. So this is fs divided by capital M here. So we have seen the interpolation process in detail as well as the decimation process in detail here. Now for achievement of the sampling rate conversion by non-integer factor, we need to make the use of two. So as it was the question I was trying to initiate the discussion on, whether to have the interpolation first of all and then the decimation, or to go with having decimation first of all followed by the interpolation. The answer is the interpolation should be the first operation and then decimation will be the second after the interpolation. The answer I just make it clear once again. So here we want to preserve the desired spectral characteristic of the original discrete time sequence x of n. So another question is generated, how we are going to preserve all this kind of the information here. See, in the case of block schematic that we have seen for interpolation, there it was the exact interpolation, that means multiplying the factor of interpolation to the original discrete time sequence so that the sequence length is getting increased. So that is the first block, that is the expander here, sampling rate expander here, and then we have the use of anti-imaging filter. Whereas in the case of decimation, first of all there it is the digital anti-aliasing filter, then there it is the sampling rate compressor by the integer factor for decimation here. Now if we club the two filters here, first the anti-imaging filter and then the anti-aliasing filter, so it is basically the cascading operation originally and then merging of the filters here. So by cascading the two, both of the filters can be combined to a single low pass filter. So the resultant block schematic will be like this. Here you see the input is provided as x of n, the original signal, to be converted to a new sampling rate, and this conversion from original sampling rate fs to the new sampling rate, that it will be L upon capital M multiplied to this original sampling rate. So this is the sampling rate conversion by the non-integer factor. So inside the outline, here we have only the 3 blocks instead of the 4. Here we have the interpolation and then the decimation. So of course the sampling rate expander, the first block in the practical interpolation, that it is showing you the interpolation integer factor capital L is utilized as the first block for processing. Then we have the low pass filter represented by the characteristics or the filter function, that it is h of k here. So this is the combination of the anti-imaging filter as well as the anti-aliasing filter here. And then we have the sampling rate compressor, where we show the reduction into the sampling rate by the integer factor, that is denoted as capital M. So this is integer decimation factor capital M here. So the 3 blocks are there: sampling rate expander, then low pass filter, and then the sampling rate compressor So they together form the sampling rate conversion by non-integer factor. At the intermediate levels, here you see after just the sampling rate expander, here we have L multiplied to the original sampling rate Fs, whereas after low pass filtering, that is anti-imaging as well as the anti-aliasing filter, here we have the sampling rate to be the same, that is L multiplied to Fs, and then after sampling rate compressor we get this L divided by capital M, so this ratio is multiplied to Fs. Now the theoretical understanding of sampling rate conversion by non-integer factor I hope is clear to you people. Now let us have this more clear with the help of one example. So in this example we are having the sampling rate to be converted for the application to be the compact disc here. So whatever the information that we call data is there from the source, that is compact disc CD, is to be transferred to the system DAT here, so for playing that particular music. Now in this particular case the sampling rate is to be increased from 44.1 kHz to 48 kHz, because the sampling rate with which it is stored to the compact disc is the different, that is the first number, and the sampling rate with the help of which we have to play it onto the system is the different, that is the latter number, 48 kHz here. So you see here, if we have the ratio of 44.1 kHz to the 48 kHz, of course whatever the quantity you take the numerator to denominator here, it is of course not generating the integer value, but it will have a fraction value. So in this example the sampling rate conversion is to be done by the non-integer factor here. Now the non-integer factor that is to be first of all approximated by the rational number can be identified here. So here we have the ratio denoted for the non-integer factor. In general the F is equal to capital L upon capital M here. Now we put 48 to the numerator, then 44.1 to the denominator here. Now to get the numerator and denominator to the integer form, we get it to the form as 160 divided by 147 here. So this value comes out to be 1.08844 here. So this is the non-integer factor here, and of course the conversion should be by the exact non-integer factor 1.08844. Then and then only whatever the musical data is stored into the compact disc, it will be played at the right way onto the DAT system here. So therefore the sampling rate conversion here, it is achieved by first of all interpolating by the integer factor L is equal to, we have the 44.1 kHz to, we have the factor computing it to the 44.1 multiplied by 160 as we shown in the previous slide, that is equal to 7056 kHz. Then after the interpolation, there it is the another very important operation is to have decimation of the signal. So this is the decimation by the decimating factor denoted by capital M. So thereupon from 7056 kHz to 7056 divided by 147, that is equal to the rate at 48 kHz. So this way we can have the conversion from the sampling rate of 44.1 kHz to 48 kHz by selecting these capital L and capital M, so that we can play the music here. Now we proceed further, just having consideration of generating a general signal denoted x of n with the sampling rate of, here we have for this example Fs is equal to 8000 Hz here, or the 8 kHz, and the frequencies of, we have 1 kHz and 2.5 kHz here. So in this regard we have the signal to be generated as denoted by x of n. So this is equal to, we have 5 times the trigonometric sine function. Inside the bracket here we have the numerator 2 pi multiplied by 1000n, and further it is divided by 8000. So this is the first term on the RHS, which is one of the component of the signal here. And the second term is cosine of, inside the bracket here we have 2 pi multiplied to 2500 times n divided by 8000 here. So now resampling the original signal x of n to 3000 Hertz by the non-integer factor of 0.375 will give L divided by M. So that is, we are putting in the numerator instead 3 and in the denominator instead 8 here. So the ratio we have 0.375 here. So now we see interpolation or the upsampling is at the factor of capital L is equal to 3, and the interpolation or the upsampling sequence that we filter by the use of finite impulse response low pass filter that can be designed with the filter length of n is equal to 53 and the cutoff frequency of 3250 Hz at the sampling rate of, here we have to multiply 3 by 8000, that is equal to 24,000 Hz here. Now let us have the effect analyzed with the help of the spectral diagram. So first of all we shall see the spectrum after just having the upsampling process, and then the spectrum after upsampling we have the filtering also. So upsampling and then the filtering, what is the change at the spectrum here. So first of all only upsampling here. As for the sampling rate conversion by non-integer factor, we have the 3 stages. First one is mere upsampling, second stage is filtering, and the third stage is decimating here. So here we have the first stage, spectrum after upsampling here. So you see on the horizontal axis there it is frequency as a parameter measured in terms of Hertz, the SI system of units here, whereas the amplitude levels are plotted on the vertical axis here, and here you see many components as we have, I am marking here. So these are the various components here, and as you know, because of the upsampling process there it is the practical possibility of having the multiple number of images generated here along with their replicas at the concerned symmetry here. So thereupon we have a requirement of the anti-imaging filter here. So when we visualize the spectrum after the interpolation filtering here, so it is basically of the low pass type here. We have only the 2 components from the previous spectral diagram present into the output, whereas the rest of the 4 components are discarded here. So this is the spectrum after interpolation filtering here. So let us visualize the block schematic where we have the capital L to be the interpolating integer factor denoted into the first block. We have the upwards arrow here, and to this x of n the input discrete time sequence to be processed is fed. Now here inside the outline we have the 2 sub blocks here. First one is the interpolation filter H1 of Z, and then the anti-aliasing filter having the transfer function denoted by H2 of Z. So the combined filter having the anti-imaging and the anti-aliasing features is to be represented by the filter function in the Z domain, simply H of Z here. And after this filtering process we require the decimation. So here we have the integer value for the decimation factor denoted by capital M, and here it is the notation with the help of downwards arrow indicated here. And finally from the x of n, that it is the original input discrete time sequence to be operated for the sampling rate conversion by non-integer factor, we obtain the output discrete time sequence denoted by y of m here. Now in this regard we have the sequence from step 1 that can be filtered via another FIR low pass filter designed with the filter length. Here we have capital N is equal to 159 and the cutoff frequency of 1250 Hz, followed by downsampling by the factor capital M is equal to 8 here. Now the anti-aliasing filter will remove the frequency component of 2.5 kHz for avoiding the aliasing effect here, since after downsampling the Nyquist limit will reach to the value 1.5 kHz. So here we can have the selection of one filter for the implementation purpose here. So for that we select the FIR low pass filter with the length denoted by capital N having the value 159 and the cutoff frequency value 1250 Hz, because its bandwidth is smaller than that of the interpolation filter here. So finally the three steps those are required to have the accomplishment of the process of sampling rate conversion by non-integer factor. The first step we are having the interpolation, also known by upsampling by the factor L is equal to 3, whereas the second task will be to have filtering operation, the upsampled sequence that we have obtained as the output of the first step here. So this particular filtering is to be carried out by finite impulse response FIR low pass filter that is designed with the filter length N is equal to 159 and a cutoff frequency of 1250 Hz at the sampling rate of 3 into 8000, that is equal to 24,000 Hz here. And lastly we need to make the decimation, that is downsampling by the factor of capital M denoted equal to the value 8 here. So this is all the understanding with the help of the example I have covered for sampling rate conversion by non-integer factor. Now with respect to this particular topic, for practice purpose I have one problem that I will take here. So this is the problem. The statement starts with, given the sampling rate conversion DSP system with the following specifications. First of all we have the specifications denoted onto the block schematic, and then in the words also we have. So this is the block schematic. Here we have X of N fed as the input to the first block. We have this particular block denoted with upwards arrow and 3 beside it. So as this is upwards arrow, this is just the indication of interpolation factor. So interpolation or the upsampling here. So it has to be tripled here. The sampling rate has to be tripled with the help of this particular block for the original signal fed as input, that it is X of N. Then inside there it is the filter, which consists of the interpolation filter part H1 of Z, the transfer function, and anti-aliasing filter denoted by H2 of Z here. So the combined representation is by H of Z, and then we have the last block having downwards arrow and the value 2 here. So as this is the downwards arrow, we have it to be identified as the decimation integer factor. So decimation integer factor in general capital M or capital D you use, that is equal to the value 2 here. So this block schematic is generating the output discrete time sequence after all this process, that is denoted as Y of M here. Now along with this block schematic we are also provided the audio input is nothing but the X of N that we have shown in this block schematic. So this is sampled at the rate of 6000 Hz here. So capital Fs, the sampling rate at Xn here, is equal to 6000 Hz or 6 kilohertz you say. The next information is provided, the audio output Y of M is operated at the rate 9000 Hz. So 9 kilohertz is the sampling rate expected at the output. So from 6000 we have to make it 9000. We are asked to have determination of the filter length and the cutoff frequency for the combined anti-aliasing filter H of Z and the window types respectively, if the window design method is utilized here. So this is what the complete problem statement, and we need to find solution to this here. So just have the focus. What is to be determined? We have to determine the filter length. See, the filter length is always denoted by capital N. In the previous example also I have shown you the example value for the filter length here. So here capital N is to be determined here, along with the cutoff frequency for the combined filter here. The filter function denoted by h of z here is also to be determined here, and the window types here. So now in the solution we shall show you the filter frequency specifications for the same block diagram. So here it is. So here we have the provided x of n, the input signal, which is the audio input signal, and this is first of all fed to the block where we carry out the interpolation by the integer factor c here. Then the interpolation filter h1 of z, anti-aliasing filter h2 of z, the combined representation h of z, and the decimeter by the decimation or the downsampling factor 2 here, to generate the output sequence denoted by y of m here. So the important part is at the bottom. Here we have the plot of h1 of z and h2 of z here concerning the position of the two filter components. So the combined effect, of course, we have to see. So on the horizontal axis you see frequency in terms of kilohertz for both the plots of the filters here. Now you see here it is starting at 0, we have the drop down at the point 2.5, and it is coming to the value 0 and the value 3 on the frequency axis for the first type of the filter. Whereas for the second type of the filter we have the amplitude constant from 0 to 2.5, then there it is a drop down and it is coming to the value 0 for the frequency value in kilohertz at 4.5 here. Now there can be the specifications for the interpolation filter denoted as first filter h1 of z. So the parameters are, first parameter is the passband frequency range. So this is equal to 0 to 2500 Hertz. Then after the passband frequency range we have the passband ripples for the filter function h1 of z, and this is equal to 0.04 decibels. Whereas the third specification is in terms of the stopband frequency range, that is from 3000 Hz to 9000 Hz, and at last we have the stopband attenuation, that is equal to 42 decibels. So as like the specifications for the interpolation filter denoted by h1 of z here, we also require the specifications for the anti-aliasing filter denoted by h2 of z here. So in similar fashion we require the passband frequency range from 0 to 2500 Hz, then the passband ripples for the filter function h2 of z, that is equal to 0.02, and then the stopband frequency range from 4500 to 9000 Hz, and at last the stopband attenuation, that is equal to 46 decibels here. So from the two sets of specifications, first one was for the interpolation filter h1 of z, and the current one, that is for the anti-aliasing filter h2 of z, the combined specification set can be derived here. So the combined specification set is denoted for in general the filter function capital H of z. In the suffix we are not providing 1 or 2 here. This is the combined filter here. The first parameter that we require is the passband frequency range, and from the previous two comparisons we conclude to have the value from 0 to 2500 Hz. Whereas the second factor is the passband ripples for the filter function h of z. So this will be equal to 0.02 decibels. Whereas the third factor is stopband frequency range from 3000 to 9000 Hz, and last is the subband attenuation at the value 46 decibels here. So now let us make the use of FIR, that is the finite impulse response filter, with the Hamming window here. So since we know that delta F is to be computed, and delta F is basically the difference of the stop band frequency H with the pass band frequency H divided by FSL here. So here we have F stop minus F pass divided by Fs into L here. So we put the values 3000 minus 2500 divided by 18,000. So this value of delta F comes out to be 0.0278 here. Now we require the length of the filter to be also determined here, and then the cutoff frequency. So first of all, the length of the filter is denoted by capital N, and the formulation is 3.3 divided by delta F. So delta F just now we have computed in the above step. So from that step we can put the value. So capital N will be equal to the ratio 3.3 divided by 0.0278. So this ratio after division we find to the value 118.8. So this is the required answer. And lastly, when we approximate 118.8 to the round value, that is equal to 119, so that time Fs we can determine as the F pass plus F stop, the frequency ages, divided by 2. So this is equal to 3000 plus 2500 divided by 2. This value is 2750 measured in terms of hertz here. So this way we have answered both the parameters those were required for the given details of the filter design here. So this was our topic, the sampling rate conversion by non-integer factor